Today's topic, SWOT analysis. As a business person, you will study your industry and your competition in minute detail. You'll look at your target customer and zero in on the needs that they have, well, at least the ones that you're positioned to fill. You'll develop products and services that address those needs, and then you'll bring those products and services to market so that consumers have easy access to those items. That's what you do, and that's what your competition does. So strategic advantage or competitive edge is whoever is doing those steps most effectively. In order to do those steps effectively, you have a constant balancing act. It used to be that the focus was on brand or on consumer or on market. And after a while, people came to realize that there is no one area that we need to focus on most. It's a balancing act. And we have to be able to keep all three areas, all three balls in the air at the same time. So they're equally important. You'll switch from one to another to be able to make sure that all three areas are addressed. Looking at the cycle, the objective of strategic advantage is to grow the value of your company. Well, the only way that you can grow the value of your company is through positive, consistent cash flow. You're not going to create that value long term unless you have long term positive or sustained cash flow or sustained growth. So strategic advantage is about growth, generally incremental, so it's ongoing. But in order to achieve that growth value, you have to improve the overall business equity. And to improve overall business equity, you tie back into step one, you grow value, and that cycle just continues. Every year as you're in business, you'll want to conduct a SWOT analysis. What that will do is it will allow you to examine the strengths, weaknesses of your business and the opportunities and threats that are in the external environment that you need to be aware of. It gives you the opportunity to make sure that every facet of your business is focused where it needs to be at a given time. Strengths and weaknesses are internally focused. Opportunities and threats, well, those are externally focused. When you look at the strengths and weaknesses, you're looking at the strengths and weaknesses of your business. What do you bring to the table for strengths, and what could you improve upon that right now could be seen as weaknesses internally? I like to look at the strengths and weaknesses of my competitors as well. Technically, that isn't part of the SWOT analysis, it's part of your industry analysis, and it can be done as a separate entity, or you could do it as part of preliminary SWOT analysis so that you know what the strengths and weaknesses are of your competition. With opportunities and threats, you're looking at what opportunities and threats do the strengths and weaknesses that you've identified bring into play. For example, in southern Idaho, there is no dedicated, or at least not in Twin Falls, there's no dedicated men's big and tall shop. So let's say we want to open one. Internal strengths, well, let's say I already have retail management experience. We have a good business location picked out, and we've already been in contact with wholesalers, and they're ready to do business. Those are wonderful strengths to be able to bring to play, and of course you would include those in your business plan. You also want to include some weaknesses in your business plan. It shows that you've thought about your business from multiple viewpoints. In this case, I would have an unknown business, so it's having to build brand equity. I would also be unable to leverage steep wholesale discounts because I'm not buying 10,000 of an item at a time. And because I don't have huge discounts, I'm going to be running on a narrower profit margin than my competition. So as I look at these areas, I'm looking to maximize my internal strengths and minimize my internal weaknesses. Investors in my business want to know that not only that I realize there are internal weaknesses, but they want to know how I plan to address those weaknesses. So yes, my business brand is unknown, but through my marketing plan, I will be doing X, Y, and Z in order to get my brand name out. Yes, I'm not going to have huge discounts to be able to have lower wholesale end pricing. I realize that ahead of time, and I have incorporated that into my pricing structure, and I still feel that I will be able to compete against the larger companies because I will be able to provide personal service, attention to detail, whatever it is that I'm going to do in order to minimize those internal weaknesses. And then I look at my competition's strengths and weaknesses, and for example, Macy's. They have strong buying power. They have a great business location. The weaknesses that they have, well, they're not currently serving the demographic of bigger and taller men. They also don't provide strong customer service, or at least my personal experiences have reflected that they don't provide strong customer service. And if the general population of men in this area are anything like the men I am aware of, they don't like to have to do a lot of looking around and a lot of shopping. They want someone there to help them, they can get done, and they can move on to their next project. So instead of maximize, minimize for strengths and weaknesses, we're going to switch the two. Realistically, there's not a lot we can do regarding the competition's strengths. They're going to continue to have strong buying power. They're going to continue to have a good business location. By focusing on their weaknesses, we turn them to our advantage, and those become what we use as our opportunities. So the fact that they're not currently serving the demographic gives us a niche market that we can take advantage of and build loyalty through. They're not providing strong customer service. They're not a local company. So each one of those items is a weakness on their part that give us an opportunity to build our demographic within our customer market. And as we put our marketing plan together, we'll want to keep these weaknesses in mind because we always want to tie our marketing into our mission statement. So in this case, our Men's Big and Tall shop, part of the mission statement is a local company providing quality products and strong customer service to men who don't fit standard clothing sizes. So we'll want to capitalize on that as we go forward. We also need to be aware of threats that are in place before we actually start business. If Macy's were to determine that they could actually overtake the demographic by expanding their inventory, they already have low wholesale pricing, they have brand equity, they have great location, so that could put a crimp in our possible market. And because they have deeper pockets, they could start a price war that we would be unable to match because we don't have the discount. We can't buy at discount like they can. So before you make the jump into business, you'd want to look at those threats. You want to determine if you can mitigate those threats. But above all, you need to address the what-ifs, the threats, in your business plan. Okay, should they expand their inventory, what are you going to do? Do you think it will affect you? And it's okay to say, even if they expand their inventory, we don't think that it will affect us overall because the most floor space that they could realistically focus on would be XYZ, and that's based on the equal amount of space for the women's department, for the non-traditional clothing sizes, given the fact that they would have limited product. We don't anticipate that they would be selling at a discount and working against us with pricing or something. Whatever you would think that would be a realistic way to address the threat in a what if it were to happen situation. So as you put these pieces into the section for Business Plan Pro, keep each one of these steps in mind. You'll also be submitting your 2 to 3 page paper that discusses your SWOT analysis, but you won't put all of that into your business plan. As we've discussed before, you need to know more than you'll include in your business plan in every single area. So from the 2 to 3 page paper that you'll submit, you'll glean 2 to 3 sentences or maybe a paragraph or two to put toward SWOT analysis in your business plan. So I hope this helps explain how SWOT analysis works. When you put your paper together, you'll talk about each one of the different areas, the strengths and weaknesses of your business. I will leave it to you if you also want to include the strengths and weaknesses of your competition, and then you'll talk about the opportunities and threats that are available to you. For each one of the opportunities, I want you to show me how they tie into, or how you are tying them into your mission statement. And regarding the threats, I want you to be able to demonstrate to me how you would address those what ifs within your business plan. Thank you very much.